for your mean, mean pride. Though his mind is not for rent, don't put him down as arrogant. His reserve a quiet defense, writing out the day's events. The river, what you say about his company is what you say about society. Catch the mist, catch the myth, catch the mystery, catch the drift. The world is love and life are deep. Maybe as his skies are wide. The day's Tom Sawyer, he gets high on you, and the space he invades, he gets by on you.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another Q&A with Val Nek and myself. And I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And yeah, so super exciting. We're coming up on a new year. I keep forgetting to mention this in my videos, and I'm so glad I remembered because I didn't write this down. But we're coming up on an election year next year if you live in the United States, but this is going to affect the whole entire world. And so any tactics of division or fighting, fighting is boring. I don't like to, fighting, can you win? Have you ever won an online battle with anyone? I mean, let's be honest with ourselves. I mean, let's keep the score of how many online battles people have won so far, because it was probably be like about 0. Anyways, so it's just something to keep in mind. And having different perspectives, having different views on things, right, is not what causes division, right? What causes division actually is when you are divided within yourself, and you don't know who you are, and so you look to other people to validate who you are, and that's where other entities such as the government or unseen entities can come in and hook you, okay? So it's just something to keep in mind. I think I feel like I speak for maybe most of you when you say that you want world peace. And that's what I want. I want world peace. So if you want peace, be the peace man. And Elon Musk, I thought was so funny when he said, go F yourself. And I made a video on it, but I wanted to mention, it's not what people say, it's the energy behind it, because a lot of times words mask true intentions, okay? This is where the internal conflict, the ego says one thing, the heart says another, right? And if everybody comes out of the mind, out of hive consciousness and into the heart and tunes in, then it's very, it becomes very beautiful to express yourself that way and see all of the other beautiful hearts expressing their perspectives, instead of having a society where everybody is thinking the same and looking to an idol figure or the Mockingbird media, right? They've created that illusion to validate their truth or validate who they are for them, right? being a slave master and then having slaves is boring. You know, why would you want to be the only source of truth? This is the Mockingbird media. You know, they create the illusion that it's from multiple news sources, right? But they're all in cahoots together, and they're all run by the same group of people, right? So it's really one source of information, right? And why would you want to be a slave master to other people? Why would you want to be an idol to other people? You know, we've been doing that for thousands of years, okay? It's boring. And why would you want, if you're a slave, why would you want to accept somebody else's perspective as your own? Why wouldn't you want to have your own perspective, right? And the truth is, we all do. It's just the ego that is attached to all this stuff. So we're coming out of hive consciousness and back into the heart, you know? So yeah. So let me get a drink. I can hear Val Nek. He says, please give them our respect. We are watching. We are in awe. And he's underlining that. So the first question is, instead of questions about active operations in Antarctica, can you tell us about the future plans for the Arctic and what's in store for the future? He's saying, I will do my best. And he's winking. He says, I will show Megan a picture. He's showing me Antarctica. He's showing me different portals. He's saying off-planet portals. Federation technology headed by Space Force. So he's showing me a portal, and he's showing me Space Force around these portals. Connected to the communication systems of Space Force in the sky, and he's showing me the space stations, and he's showing me stations on the moon, and he's showing me the space stations around Mars. He's saying it is all connected for protection, for security. This is our technology. The United States has it. And okay, he's showing me the underground of Antarctica. He's showing me different bases. He's saying the goal is to share. The goal is to share this land. He's showing me a seesaw between the United States and China and Russia. You know that show, I forget the guy's name, but it's called Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Val Nek is making a joke. It's who wants to be the superpower. Oh my God, that's hilarious. He's reminding me of the theme from last month. Everybody wants to rule the world. He's saying it is the Federation's goal to guide your people, to guide your governments, to work together. This is our goal. We have stipulations. He is reminding me of the Prime Directive. They must agree to work for peace. Nobody is better than the other. They work together. This is your planet. You share it together. This is the goal. So he's bringing my mind back to Antarctica, and he's showing me it's the United States. Okay, the Space Force is in charge of these portals. And he's showing me them building technology. And they're also rewiring some technologies, getting rid of the old, installing the new. He's saying it is being transformed. This is top secret. And he's winking. Obviously, it's not top secret if I'm saying it. But he's saying there are many more plans for this place, for this region. I cannot say anymore. We will move to the next question. Okay. You know, I got this juice. It's turmeric and I think beet juice. And it says don't skip a beat. Well, I'm skipping a beat because I'm drinking this juice, but... okay. So, China's space authorities name Elon Musk's SpaceX an unprecedented challenge. Is there anything specific about the new technology being manufactured that China cannot beat? Space stations, the Starfleet. He says it is not SpaceX specifically, it is our technology. It is very advanced. Nothing they have seen before. I cannot be specific. Okay. He's showing me, he's saying, I will show you a picture. He's showing me different fighter planes, fighting jets, these are spaceships. He's saying it is very advanced. They do not have them. They need them. This is how we win. And he's showing me the Guardians, okay? And he's showing me the US Navy. The best of the best. I'm just reading his mind, but the Federation, how they train their troops, how they train their pilots is specific to the Federation. It's so they cannot, China and Russia, unless they agree to work with the United States, will not have access to the way that the Federation trains their troops to be the best of the best. So it's not about the United States being better than China and Russia. It's about they all agree to work together and then create a space force that protects our whole planet, and it's trained, it's using the Federation techniques. That's what makes it unique. I can hear them clapping. So that's that. Can you explain, Val Nek, can you explain the rank system of the Federation? He says, I will explain how the pilots work. He's showing me, it's like a diagram, okay? He's showing me one high commander, and then there are different commanders around him. One does science, one does technology, the others are fleet commanders. And he's saying 4 fleet commanders, and then there's 1 for science, 1 for technology. He's just reassuring me. He says, yes, this is correct. And then under the fleet commanders, there's a fleet of between 12 to 13 ships. He says sometimes 14, sometimes 15, it depends. It's like sometimes if they're going on a mission, then they'll borrow some part of the fleet to go as one fleet. He says, yes, this is correct. And then in each ship, there's a captain, and then there's a co-captain, and then there might be another pilot or another personnel there, depending on the mission or depending on what they're doing. Let me get a drink, and then I know somebody else had a question, Val Nek. Where does your, how does your quote-unquote supervisor come to play, or where does his rank fit in? He says he does not have a rank. He is a supervisor. I've explained this before, but it's the Federation High Council. They are like, I'm just reading his mind, but they're like more like consultants. He can see the timelines. He helps with these videos. Val Nek is just letting me read his mind. So, basically this is a reality, and they have a reality that is happening parallel to ours, right? And a reality is a physical experience. It's a physical place. And then the energy between it is the same. It's source. It's you and I, right? So it's just sometimes the realities overlap, and his supervisor exists or can move into different planes, and he sees things from a different perspective. Honestly, it's beyond my understanding in this body, but He's just making sure that they don't overlap too much. So it's about, they can't really share too much information, or they can't intervene too much, or then it will mess things up, to put it simply. Okay. Oh, this is a fun one. Someone asks, I know that the beings we call Sasquatch do exist but are not from Earth. I also understand that they are protective not only of their own families but also of humanity. Can Val Nek comment more about them, like where they are from, etc.? Okay, there are a few assumptions in the question because we're assuming that Sasquatch A exists and that Sasquatch B are from Earth, or are not from Earth, which, so I'm just prefacing that. Val Nek says, I have seen many beings from Earth. He's requesting that I show him a picture, so I'm gonna show him what the picture that I'm showing him, he thinks is from Star Wars, like Chewbacca. But it does look like that. The Sasquatch being does kind of look like Chewbacca. He says, I have not seen them. I have not been to Earth. I have been underground twice. I do not wish to go back. I do not know of these beings. He's saying, they look like your movies. Yeah, so they do kind of, yeah, I don't know. They do kind of look like Star Wars. I've actually never thought of that before. Not every ET knows of everything in the entire universe, right? So they're living in a reality and they have a filter too. They have a perspective too. So sometimes we think of them as all-knowing and omnipresent, and they're beings incarnated into a body, just like we are. So they have a certain view. Oh, this is another good one. Val Nek, there have been reports and threats of cyberattacks in the U.S. Do you have any insight into this? Should we be concerned? He says, Megan already knows what I'm going to say. Do not consent to fear. These are distractions to scare your people. The WEF, or Klaus Schwab, I think, came out and said, expect cyber attacks. I can hear them laughing. He's saying this is an illusion. This will not be the case. Everything is protected. We have it all. And he's underlying, winking in his head. Recently, Kash Patel mentioned underwater aliens, how it is easier to point people's attention to UFOs in outer space, and hinted there are threats underwater. Can you tell us more of this? He says, I cannot mention much. There are many distractions in space. He's showing me the entire planet, the entire world, okay? And he's showing me the water, and he's showing me different military ships, specifically the United States, surrounding the United States, and the United States Navy, right? And he's showing me the Navy protecting our waterways or guarding our waterways. And then when you go underground, like under the water where submarines are, there's he's showing me different entrances. And this is Canada, and then, there's Mexico, and there's different entrances via the waterways. And, he's saying the United States Navy, the best of the best, this is their duty. He's explaining, like, I'm just reading his mind, but he's explaining that he's showing me different portals underwater and bases that have basically existed there for centuries. They are not invaders. They are from Terra, just like your people. He's saying the Federation cannot intervene. They are natives. This goes against our laws. This is for your people to protect. We can assist. He's reminding me, it's easier if I use my words, but he's reminding me the Prime Directive. The Federation cannot come in and basically kick native people out of their own planet. It doesn't matter if they're human. It doesn't matter if they're non-human. If they're from here, they can assist the US Navy with technology, but they cannot kick them out themselves. Because then, guess what? Then the Federation becomes planetary invaders. So he's explaining, like he's showing me the US Navy has technology from the Federation to basically guard the underground or the waterways from non-human entities coming into our land or coming into our country or coming in underground. He says, yes, this is correct. A very good job. He is reminding me, he's saying Orion Alliance. He's saying they have partnered with them, the underground war. This is part of it. I know people watching Val Nek will want an update on the underground war, or can you just briefly say something about it? He's saying, I can say it is no longer the Federation's responsibility. Our part of the war is over. We offer assistance as needed. We are not fighting underground. Not anymore. He's underlying that in my head. So by we, he means that the Federation is not fighting underground anymore. They're just there. They're just in space or wherever assisting. For advice, for the art of war, I don't know. So, this is a cool question. There's a lot of questions this time around were very, I don't know, like hard-hitting questions. They're not that fruity. So, okay, so not sure if this is considered personal for Val Nek, but curious if he has ever incarnated on Earth and how his experience was. He says, I have never been to Terra. I have never incarnated there. I watched Megan. She has a lot of fun. I experience it through her eyes. This is my experience. Do you have anything else to say about it? Not really. Yeah, a lot of them haven't incarnated on Earth, at least not yet. Part of the reason people come to Earth, okay? Part of the Starseed program, or really just let's go beyond that, right? Because this is universal. Part of the reason to come into a third density experience is to basically bring the light here, right? And transform and transcend density. So you have a lot of experiences that help you decide, I like this, I don't like this is me, this is not me. And you're integrating trauma from past lives, taking the trauma out of it, healing yourself, and this releases the density, and then you bring your light here, right? So not everybody has incarnated on Earth, but maybe they will if they want to, right? Just like you maybe haven't incarnated completely on every planet, but you don't really need to because it's kind of the same thing everywhere. Or it's very similar, like 3D here might be really, really similar to 3D somewhere else in the universe. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's not necessarily that you have to come to Earth to experience that. Okay, so this is another one, Val Nek. Someone says, I'm trying to understand why the Galactic Federation cannot get involved with our human issues. I feel like they have been watching all the evil for a very long time. I feel it's now time to help us free ourselves, but get advice, support from the Galactic Federation. They're looking at each other. He says, we have been helping your people for a very long time. You do not see us, but we are there. Connect through the heart, not through the head. He's showing me humans, okay? And he's showing me there's the light behind humans. He's showing me the ego brain, and the ego brain is projecting like a storyline or it's like a dramatic, like Oscar-winning movie into this reality, right? And what it's doing is it's basically creating the Matrix, or it's creating a movie that basically exists in the minds of people, but it doesn't exist in reality. This is why we've been saying connect through the heart. You know, a lie is, it doesn't, you know, is anything a truth? Is anything a lie? But just for the sake of this conversation, a lie, or something that is not based in reality, or a lie only exists in the mind, is what I'm trying to say. So I just see people projecting their egos onto other people. And it's a movie, it's a storyline, and then there's the light behind it. If you want to connect with us, connect through the heart. You don't have to see us. You cannot see us. This is your choice. So in other words, you cannot see them for who they truly are, because we're still hung up on a movie, or the ego. We're still hung up on seeing things through the filter of the ego, right? And you see that all over the internet and all over, you know, the internet is a special place because people have their inhibitions are like, you know, they're not there. It's like a bunch of drunk people just saying whatever on the internet. You know, you might actually, if you say something online, be sure that you would say it to that person directly to their face. You know, otherwise you are like, have like beer goggles in the internet, and it's messy. But anyways, this wasn't in reference to the person who made that question. It's just that we're seeing things through a filter and not through how they actually are. And he's saying my supervisor has a message, and he's showing me a picture, and it's Earth, and it's all lit up. There's light everywhere, right? And basically how this has been achieved, or how this is happening, is everybody is, instead of projecting density, they're coming into the heart, they're projecting light outward, and then the light vibrates like this. Like that, and it's a heartbeat, and it's very beautiful. Looking at things this way is way more beautiful than looking at things through the mind, or through a storyline where you have the victim, you have the savior, and you have the villain. Okay, notice how that's a triangle. Let's go back to a circle. Okay, the circle of life, you know. So this is kind of the same question, Val Nek, but what advice do you have for people who want ET contact but feel they do not have it? He's saying my supervisor has a message, and he's showing me they're stupid. He's showing me a list, and he's showing me, it says the naughty or nice list. And he's showing his supervisor as Santa Claus, okay? He's saying, I hate to tell you, but Santa is not real. We do not play favorites. We do not keep a list. We love you all. And he's underlining it. You are all special to us. We love everybody. Oh, that's funny. And then they're showing me I can see different people on the planet, okay? And different people, and as you go through the higher levels, they're not really higher, they're actually just next to each other. But as you go through the higher levels, everybody has an entourage or different beings looking after them. They're called soul groups. He's showing me soul groups. And they often overlap. A group of people incarnate together because they love each other, to help teach each other things and welcome each other back home, back to the heart, okay? He's saying this happens often. This is how we do it. And he's winking and saying the best of the best. This is our message. Yeah, so I think I'll leave it at that, and Happy New Year to you guys, and I love you, and I'll be back with more videos.